Very good evening, everyone. So in this particular class, I will explain to all of you, how to crack the TS set life sciences, what kind of a study material that you have to follow, the new batch details, the cutoff of CS, the cutoff of TS set life sciences, in previous years, or what we can expect the cutoff for this particular 2020-24 August exam, and how to prepare for TS set life sciences in a very short period of time. I will explain everything. So every one of you, please listen continuously till the end of the class. Okay. The new batch is commencing from the, June 3rd, that is Monday onwards. Okay, so in this particular batch, entire syllabus will be covered from A to Z. Everyone, please continue. In this particular batch, entire syllabus will be covered from A to Z. And most importantly, since our time is very limited, friends, we will cover most important topics which will come in the exam. 99.99% of all the questions that comes from the topics which we are going to discuss, and you will get the PowerPoint presentation also, as well as you will get the chapter wise as well as the mock tests also. And most of the people do not have a proper notes. So we have launched the new set of books in the 2024 April itself, exclusively for the TS set life sciences. You will get a total of 14 books. So whereas 13 books will be for the 13 units individually, starting from biochemistry till the end of the methods in biology. For 13 different units, you will get 13 different books, as well as you will also get one specific book exclusively contain the MCQs only. And even single question also won't go beyond this particular level. And in the tomorrow class, I will also solve, the complete 2023 TS set question paper, where most of the students are feeling that question paper will be the most difficult question paper. Of course, I agree with all of you. See, suppose if you look into the TS set question paper in the 2022, it is the most basic question paper. Even a NEET student also can qualify it. But if you look into the 2023 NEET question, TS set question paper, I can say to all of you, it is a kind of a 40 to 50% difficulty level of the NET exam. Okay, 40 to 50% of the difficulty level of the NET exam. Most of the questions are very tricky questions, indirect questions, statement related questions. Moreover, friends, the questions are asked extremely from the depth of the concepts. That's why most of the students who are preparing for the set exam, they will really think that I have a 3 months of time, I can read each and everything, and I can qualify the exam for sure. That never happens, friends. And in Telangana, most of the people disadvantage is that if they are from a botany background, they will only focus from botany. If they are from a zoology background, they will only focus on the zoology. But trust me, these kind of students never qualify the exam, because you are not writing the exam in botany, you are not writing the exam in zoology, you are writing the exam in the life sciences. So out of 13 units of our syllabus, every one of you, remember, you people has to be expert or thorough with the minimum 10 and maximum of 11 units. Then only you can crack the exam. If you don't read 10 to 11 units, friends, it is extremely impossible to crack the exam. So that's the reason you always be thorough with the 10 to 11 units. Now I will tell you which 10 to 11 units are most important for the TS set. Remember, everyone, unit 1 to 6 are extremely important. Whether you are a botany background, zoology background, microbiology background, biotechnology background, doesn't matter. You have to read 1 to 6 units compulsory. Apart from this, you should also read unit 8 genetics, unit 10 ecology, unit 11 evolution, and unit 13, which is called methods in biology. Every student, remember, these 10 units are compulsory. Trust me, if you skip any one of these units, it's very difficult to crack the exam as well. Okay, now if you look into the cutoff of 2023 and 2022. Okay. And this will be the cutoff with respect to the category. But right now, I am going to tell to all of you the 2024 August exam expected cutoff. I am not telling the exact cutoff, but mostly cutoff will be in this range only. You people keep it in your mind. General, it will be 52. Okay. All the BC categories, you people remember 48 to 50. And STSA, I'm including telling to all of you, you try to remember 46 to 48 or 46 to 47.5. Mostly your cutoff will be in this particular range only. All right. Now, the most important, see, if you want to crack the exam, friends, two things are very important. First, most important thing is a well-written study material. Okay. The study material which is exactly helps us in the exam orientation, that specific study material only you require. And apart from the study material, the most important, we require this strategy. If you look into the syllabus, it is extremely vast syllabus. And you people really don't know what concept to be studied, what concepts to be avoided, from where you can expect the questions that no one can understand in a clear-cut manner. I always believe, working smart. So there is no doubt, friends, you have to do the hard work, but in a smart way. Then only we can crack it. Right. So now listen, the most important one. There are 10 units that I told to all of you to read. Now listen, how many questions are there, friends? In our core paper, in the exam, we will be having 100 questions. There is no doubt about it. Now the question is very clear. Out of this particular 100 questions, there are 13 units are there. Correct, na? So I can tell to all of you, friends, an average I am telling to all of you, average. I am telling to all of you, minimum 7 to maximum 8 questions will appear from every single unit. Now, whether you belongs to the general, whether you belongs to the BC, ST, SC, I am requesting all of you, you try to focus on answering 75 to 80 questions correctly. Out of 100 questions, it doesn't matter what category that you belongs to. If you answer 75 to 80 questions very correctly, friends, 200% you will qualify the exam, because the level of the difficulty is increasing very much, year by year. Now, what exactly you have to read? That is more important here. Now, at this particular time, you people don't have the time to read the entire standard reference books. You can't know also. You really don't know what exact reference books to be followed. So these books are prepared in such a way that which will cover exactly your set syllabus. And if you read, and I can assure you that most of the questions will comes from the lines of these books itself. And in the tomorrow class, whenever I'm solving the questions, you will get to know. So now all the students focus and listen to me very correctly. It is very important to know what are the most important topics in every single unit. When you know what are most important topics, it is extremely easy to read as well. So friends, all the students listen. Biochemistry is one of the biggest unit in your entire syllabus. Now, what is the disadvantage? I will tell to all of you. Even though you are a microbiology student, botany student, zoology student, biotechnology student, what is the common point? You all category students will feel biochemistry as one of the most difficult unit. But if you leave the biochemistry, it is difficult to crack the exam. If you look into your 2023 question paper, there were 8 questions appeared alone from the biochemistry. And among the 8 questions, 4 questions are little difficult and 4 questions are little straightforward questions only. That's why under any circumstances, you should not skip the lesson of the biochemistry. Now, what are the most important topics? I'll summarize here itself, friends. You have to read, listen everyone, biology of the biomolecule. At the same time, you have to read the chemistry of the biomolecule also. So what exactly we have to read in the biochemistry? we have to read carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acid. All these biomolecules you have to read. Not only chemistry, because chemistry you all people read in your +1, +2 also. Even in your BSc level also you read it. Apart from the chemistry, the most important, friends, focusing on the metabolical pathways. 99.99%, no one of you read the nucleotide metabolism, no one of you read the lipid metabolism. Two questions directly came from the nucleic acid metabolism as well as the lipid metabolism. You will see in the tomorrow class. So listen, the most important topics to read, friends, listen all of you. Carbohydrate metabolism, compulsory, remember this. Then nucleic acid metabolism. Then, friends, lipid metabolism. Very important, friends. You should also focus on the protein. And very important topic where you will get the question 200% in the exam. That is enzymes. Enzymes and its kinetics. These two are compulsory, you have to read it. And when it comes to the carbohydrate metabolism, there is a no question paper of the set without the question from the cellular respiration. It is very important. You can get the questions from the enzymes, you can get the questions from inhibitor, whatever it may be, friends. You will get the question for sure. Majorly, you have to focus on glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain, oxidative phosphorylation. These are all compulsory you have to read, especially the enzymes involved, most importantly, regulatory pathways, and very much importantly, friends, inhibitors. Inhibitors are very common. In the 2023 question paper, we got one direct question from the inhibitors itself. Very important, friends. And very important, you have to focus on the purine and pyrimidine pathway. Means how the purines are getting synthesized, how the pyrimidines are getting synthesized. We will discuss in the lessons. Purines can be synthesized by two pathways. One is called as Salvage pathway, friends. Another one called, friends, de novo pathway. So in the 2023 question paper, we got the question exclusively from which pathway? We got the question exclusively from the de novo pathway. So these are all seems to be very new to all of you because you might forgot almost all the concepts. But you have to read every single concept from now. Now, apart from that, we have to focus on the beta oxidation of fatty acid. This is also a question they asked. What is the question they asked in the set exam? Where the enzymes are located that are involved in the beta oxidation of the fatty acid. We all generally know that beta oxidation of fatty acids are generally happens in the mitochondrial matrix. This kind of straightforward questions also we can expect. Not only that, friends, enzyme and its kinetics. Very important. Here you can get the graphical question. Here you can get the numerical question. Here you can get the statement related questions also. And especially, friends, when you are reading the enzymes, most important, all the set students has to focus on is Michaelis-Menten equation. You have to focus on Michaelis-Menten equation as well as the inhibition process also, such as you have to focus on competitive inhibition, non-competitive inhibition, and mixed, we can say, uncompetitive inhibition. All the type of inhibitions we have to read with respect to the graphs also. And apart from these, 100% we get the question undoubtedly in the exam about the amino acid. About the amino acid, it is mandatory, friends. We have to remember this for exam. How the amino acids are classified based on structure, based on function, based on R group, based on charges, based on PI, everything we have to read. In the amino acids also, friends, there is a possibility that we can expect the question in the form of a numerical. That's why under any circumstances, no student should not skip this particular concept or this biochemistry unit. How many questions you can expect? Minimum 7, maximum 8 questions you can expect from the concept of biochemistry. Next one. cellular organization. Of course, for the botany student, zoology student, biotechnology student, microbiology student, biochemistry student, for everyone, cell biology is one of the most easiest unit. Again, friends, and from this particular unit also, we can expect minimum 6 to 7 questions compulsory. What kind of a questions that we can expect here? If you look into your 2023 question paper, before batch also I told you multiple times, most of the students, what they will do, they just read structure, they just read functions of all the cell organelles. 90% of the students, what they neglect enzymes present in the cell organelle. Most important, friends, the diseases that are associated with the deficiency of those enzymes. What, friends? The diseases that are associated with those enzymes. No, cell signaling is a different unit. Listen. So these questions comes very commonly from this particular cell organelle. And friends, what kind of a cell organelles are more important? When it comes to the cell organelle, I don't tell to any one of you that you have to skip the cell organelle. I encourage every single student to read all the cell organelle, but give the highest importance to the plasma membrane, Golgi complex, SCR, RER, cytoskeleton, peroxisome, and lysosome. This is 7 organelle I want every one of you to focus without fail. Now, apart from the cell structure, cell organelle, there is again no question paper of the TS set life sciences without the question from cell cycle regulation. Again, what you people will read, most of the students will just read randomly what is mitosis, what is meiosis, the steps involved in the mitosis, the steps involved in the meiosis, which you all people read in the NEET level. In this exam, you don't get the question from what exactly mitosis, the events occurring in the mitosis and meiosis. You don't get that. You will get the question from regulation. How the cell is regulating at G1 phase, regulating at S phase, regulating at G2 phase, regulating at M phase. So majorly what cyclin proteins are involved, what CDK proteins are involved, that will be asked completely in this particular unit. I'm requesting every one of you, since cell biology is a very easy unit for all of you, without leaving this, I'm requesting all of you to read it. Now, next, third unit in our syllabus, fundamental processes, which we generally call it as a molecular biology. This is also 90% of the students, even though they read 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, still they feel confused. Because the questions also like that only, and concept also extremely depth you all people has to read. What exactly we have to read here? In this chapter, we have to read replication, we have to read transcription, we have to read post-transcription, we have to read translation, we have to read post-translation, we have to read gene regulation, and there is another concept, friends, we call it as the DNA repair mechanism. See, don't worry, every line I have written, not 99%, I am telling you, you look into your question paper, 100% of the questions will come from whatever we are going to discuss in the classes. Very straightforward, only you will get it. And whenever we are reading, we should always focus on both prokaryotes also, eukaryotes also. Again, what most of the students will do, they will just read the prokaryotes and they will leave the eukaryotes. But 90% of the cases in the exam, the questions are directly coming from eukaryotes, or they will combine both prokaryotes and eukaryotes, then they will raise the question. That's the reason you have to read replication in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, transcription in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Especially, friends, when it comes to the post-transcriptional processes, you have to read 5' capping, 3' polyadenylation, most importantly, different type of a splicing mechanism. And if you look into your 2023 question paper, again, 2 questions directly appeared from the translation itself. And especially what kind of a questions they have given? They have given a questions which are from the matching, that is about the translation factors. The translation factors which are present in the prokaryotic and which are present in the eukaryote, they have given the matching question. Very easy question. That is straightforward, but most of the people won't read that much depth. That's why you feel it as difficult. And another very important concept in the Unit 3 is gene regulation. You people has to read compulsory lacoperon also, friends. You people has to read compulsory tryptophanoperon also. Then only you can answer the question. Then very important, friends, you have to focus on most of the DNA repair mechanism. According to my knowledge, most of you people never read the DNA repair mechanism, but you have to read extreme depth of this DNA repair mechanisms also compulsory for the exam, friends. You have to read mismatch repair mechanism, nucleotide excision repair mechanism, base excision repair mechanism, double strand breakage repair mechanism, homologous recombination, all the type of the DNA repair mechanisms you have to read. Now the next, I can tell to every student in your syllabus, in your entire syllabus, there are 13 units are there, I told to all of you. The biggest units throughout the syllabus is Unit 1, Unit 4, Unit 13. These three are the biggest units in your syllabus. And these Unit 4 is very difficult to all of you. Why? Why it is difficult? Here, the topics include cell signaling. In 2023 question paper, only from cell signaling, surprisingly, we got 3 questions. Cell communication, we did not get any question in the 2023 paper, but we got the question in the 2022. Then cancer, again, we got 1 question here. Then host, pathogen, interactions. This is the subunit. Then we got 1 question. Then another big unit, immunology. Here we got nearly 4 questions. Now, what is difficulty here? Especially botany people never read even one of this topic also. And if you look into the zoology people only read immunology topic, that's all. So this is a kind of a unit which is extremely difficult to all of you. So what is the important point you have to remember whenever you are solving questions from these kind of units? Undoubtedly your rank will be varied because other students are not answering these questions. That's the most important point here. Remember, what kind of a signaling pathways you have to read. There are many cell signaling pathways are there, starting with the GPCR, MAP kinase pathway, JAK-STAT pathway, insulin pathway. You look into the 2023 paper, which I'll solve in the tomorrow class. They have given the questions from hedgehog, Wnt signaling, Notch delta, beta catenin pathways. Until you know the extreme depth of the concept, you can't answer the question. But surprisingly, the question is very direct. The question is direct, but it is just from the depth of the concept. And this is a kind of difficult subunit for you. When it comes to the cell communication, even though you are reading this chapter very first time, trust me, you can answer this. Because almost everything is a theory only. You have to read different type of a cell adhesion molecule, such as cadherin, selectin, integrin, immunoglobulin superfamily. And you should also read on ECM protein, such as collagen, keratin, fibroin, nidogen, chondroitin sulfite, all this. Because here the syllabus is exactly CSR syllabus, but the level they ask the question is a little different, that's all. And surprisingly, all the questions will be direct from here. Now, you all people feel very difficult units are cancer and immunology. Especially immunology will be so difficult for everyone because very depth of the questions will ask and very difficult concept also it is. When you are reading the cancer, you have to understand differences between the normal cell and cancer cell. You have to read differences between the benign tumor and malignant tumor. You have to read types of cancers. You have to read genetics of cancer, you have to read the treatment that is involved in treating the cancer. This kind of questions are very common, very important also. Now I know, since immunology is a very difficult unit, what we will do while discussing, we will discuss the most unique topics that compulsory comes in the exam. If you read only those concepts, you can answer the questions so easily. Example like MHC molecule, example like antibodies, example like B cell development, T cell development, and very important, the differences between the innate immunity, adaptive immunity, monoclonal antibodies, autoimmune diseases. These are all what very important topics where the questions were repeatedly asked in the exam. This unit will take a little bit long time, but it's most important unit. Actually, we are going to start this unit only as the first unit. Now, next one, developmental biology. Remember, friends, botany people will feel very difficulty. They feel very easy in the plant developmental biology. They feel difficult in the animal developmental biology. For zoology people, it is a kind of advantage. For the people who are from biotechnology, biochemistry, microbiology, this is very difficult unit. But it doesn't matter, I told you. Whatever the background you may belongs to, it is important. Every student has to read 1 to 6 units. Otherwise, you can't qualify the exam at all. What you have to read in the chapter of developmental biology, simply I'll tell you, we have to focus on gametogenesis, fertilization, cleavage, gastrulation, organogenesis. These are 5 events we have to study by using different organisms as their model. You look into your 2023 question paper, we got 1 question from fertilization, 2 questions we got from cleavage, 3 questions we got from gastrulation, only 1 question we got from organogenesis. We did not get any questions from the gametogenesis. Don't think that this chapter is easy. At the same time, don't think that this chapter is difficult. But even though you're from a botany or any other background, if you work hard 5 to 7 days continuously, trust me, you can answer every single question that is coming in your set level very easily. The next, plant physiology. Even though you are a zoology, biotechnology, other background, it is super important. You should not neglect plant physiology. Once again, I'm telling you, if you leave any unit among 1 to 6, you can't qualify the exam. Remember this point. The major, so in plant physiology, surprisingly, what they asked, only from photosynthesis, it was really surprised. They have given 3 questions. Only from photosynthesis they have given. Nitrogen metabolism, they have given 1 question. Sensory photobiology, they have given 1 question. Secondary metabolites, they have given 1 question. Only 5 questions were appeared. And the various topics that we have to cover is photosynthesis, transport in plants, nitrogen metabolism, plant hormones, secondary metabolites, sensory photobiology. There is another subunit, friends, which we can call it as a stress physiology. These are the various subunits that you all has to focus compulsory for the exam. Otherwise, it is impossible to crack the exam. Then unit 7, human physiology. In human physiology, friends, you will get mostly straightforward questions, but little difficult. Why it is little difficult is either you will get the questions in the form of a case studies, or you can also get the question in the form of a experimental. And in the plant physiology, surprisingly, the questions came from the signaling from the hormones. Signaling they have given. Signaling questions only comes in the net level. But in your set level also, there were 2 questions, especially from the cytokinin hormone. They have given the signaling questions. So you have to read them also. In the human physiology, you have to give highest importance to endocrine system, respiratory system, excretory system, nervous system. Then very important, blood circulation and cardiovascular system. If you read this 5 units elaboratively, I'll tell you what kind of a subtopics that you have to read while we are discussing the lesson. Those are the only topics where we can get most of the questions. Very straightforward questions only we'll get, but a kind of case studies are experimental. If you know the depth of the knowledge, you can answer the question. An example, in the endocrine system, the questions related to the hormones, diseases related to the hormones, signaling of the hormone, most important, regulatory pathways of the hormones. Suppose example, if you look into the cardiovascular system, you get the major questions from the blood groups. While I am explaining you the lesson, I'll explain point to point. Blood groups, you will get the question from blood clotting. Most importantly, friends, you will get the question from ECG. Like what does the PQ wave represents? What does the QRS complex represents? What does the S wave represents? What does the T wave represents? What happens when the T wave got elevated? What happens when the T wave is less than the normal? What happens when the T wave is a flatter wave? These kind of a direct questions only you get in the exam. But you have to read this topic also very elaborately. Then genetics, whether you are a botany student, whether you are a zoology student, it is must and should you have to read the genetics. Genetics is a kind of a big unit, but what is the advantage with genetics? The advantage with the genetics chapter is most of the questions are conceptual. Most of the questions are conceptual. Questions from Mendel principles, extra Mendel principles. Remember everyone, pedigree analysis, linkage and mapping. Then very important, friends, structural and numerical alterations, and what we can call microbial genetics. These six are the so prominent topic that every student has to read. Here also there is a possibility of getting 6 to 7 questions compulsory. Never neglect. And this is the advantages unit. You don't need to read this unit also, because the diversity of life forms is a unit where you get the questions from plant kingdom, animal kingdom. You will get the questions from Monera, Protista, virus, viroids, lichens. From there you will get the questions, which all the JL and DL teachers are very aware of this particular lesson. Even though you leave this lesson, you can answer the questions very easily. Then the next subunit that no student should not leave is the chapter of ecology. Friends, if you look into the 2022 question paper, the highest number of questions appeared in the 2022 question paper from the ecology, surprisingly. But in the 2023 paper, they have covered almost all the units only. Right. So what you have to read in the ecology? Simple words I will explain you. You have to read about individual, that is habitat and niche. You have to read complete population ecology. We have to focus on community ecology, such as community interactions, such as symbiosis, mutualism, amensolism, commensalism, predation, competition, all this. And you can expect the numerical questions from the population ecology. Then you have to focus on ecosystem ecology. In the ecosystem ecology, you can get a pyramid of energy, pyramid of biomass, pyramid of number, all this. Grass primary productivity, net primary productivity. Here also there is a possibility of getting the statement related or numerical question also. Then you have to focus on applied ecology, where mostly you have to focus on the pollution, especially water pollution, air pollution. Mostly you will get the questions from air only. In the air pollution, we will get the questions from the greenhouse effect. In the water pollution, we will get the questions from BOD and COD. When it comes to the last subunit, that is the conservation status. Here, what you have to read? Here you have to read about all the national parks, all the sanctuaries, all the biosphere reserves, all the tiger zones. We have to read Telangana statewide also. We have to read all India wide also. That is what we have to read in the chapter of ecology. So while I'm explaining you the lessons, I'll explain you what you people has to read in the unit 11, unit 12, unit 13. But what I'm trying to explain you, friends, out of all the 13 units, how many units you should be thorough? minimum 10, maximum 11, which means unit 1 to 6, unit 8, unit 10, unit 13. These 10 units are very important, very important to be read. And if you read this materials, whichever I will send to all of you, total number of 14 books, they will be 200% sufficient to crack the exam. Even a single word in the question paper also won't go beyond this particular level. I'll give you 200% of the guarantee. Okay. So the batch is basically coming from the, starting from the 3rd June, that is Monday onwards. The timings are fixed, friends, 6:30 to 8 a.m. as well as 6:30 to 8 p.m. every single day. Okay, except the Sundays. Okay, and we will also help you in the paper 1 only in the aptitude session, not in the general science. We will only focus on help you in the aptitude section compulsory. Okay, is it clear, every one of you? And after the lesson in the app we have already uploaded, I told you, right? There are 14 books we are sending. The 14 book contain total of 2,800 MCQs. I am giving you word. If you follow the 2,800 MCQs that are present in that book, you can answer any of the question easily. Any of the question. Okay. So I hope it's clear for you. You people can start joining from the Monday. Okay, all the classes starts from the Monday. There are so far total 39 students are joined. So I'm requesting every one of you start early your preparation, because most of the people will think that I can crack the exam in 2 months. This is all misconceptions. You can't crack that much easily. Okay, the level of the exam also increasing year by year. You have to work extremely harder, then only you can crack it. All right. Okay, thank you all. If anyone having any doubts, you can ask me, or you can contact via WhatsApp as well. All right, we will share the app link as well as the course link also. You can access everything. Okay, thank you all of you. Thank you.